Hello everyone, welcome to day one of our extended e-learning. Today we're going to work on volume of cylinders and prisms. I went ahead and drew an example of a cylinder, a rectangular prism, and triangular prisms. Those are the ones that we're going to work with according to 8th grade Indiana state standards. Whenever you look at the cylinder and the rectangular prism and triangular prism, you see that there is a big B, a capital B, in each of the equations for volume. That capital B stands for the area of the base. Now, I went ahead this time around to write out the area of the base formula for you, but that is something that you definitely need to know how to do and how to find. So when we talk about the area of the base of a cylinder, the cylinder has a circle, which is pi times your radius squared. And I want to make sure that you guys know when you're using your calculator to actually use the pi button itself. So if you're looking at my calculator on the right hand of the screen, it is in the last column and farthest over in that third row, and it is the two lines with something across the top, and it gives you that value of 3.141592653588979. For volume purposes and surface area purposes, go ahead and round to the second decimal place, which is the hundredths place. So you'll have to look at the third decimal place and see if it's 5 and above, round up. If it's 4 and below, keep it the same. Again, the cylinder area of the base is pi times your radius squared. You must do your order of operations, which means you must take your radius squared first, then multiply by pi, and then multiply by the height. With your rectangular prism, your base is just your length and your width, multiplied by your height. And then a triangular prism, the area of a triangle is 1/2 of the base times the height of the triangle, not the actual prism itself, which means half of a rectangle. That's why triangles are half of base times height. So I'm going to go ahead and work out these examples below. The first one, we have a cylinder on its side, and we have a diameter, which is the entire distance across the circle, of 8 feet, and we have the height of the cylinder itself as 15 feet. Remember that our formula is capital B times H. Well, capital B, again, that stands for pi times our radius squared. In order to find our radius, we have to take our diameter, which is 8, and divide it by 2. So our radius is actually 4 feet this time around. So when we do this, we're going to take our pi and we're going to multiply it by 4 squared, and then we're going to multiply it by 15. Sorry, that was my dog. So remembering that we have to clear our calculator, we want to square 4 first because our order of operations says exponents first, then multiplication. So we're going to square 4, which is 16. Then we're going to multiply by pi using the pi button, and then multiply by 15. And then we'll hit our equal sign. And that gives us a total of 753.98. That 2 after the 8 causes the 8 to stay the same. So we'll have 753.98 feet cubed as our answer. All right, so now looking at this next one, we have our cylinder for example B as 7 inches for our radius and 18 for our height. So in this case, we do not even need to divide the radius by anything because we were actually given the radius. So we're going to do pi times 7 squared times 18. Now, I'm going to give you a few seconds to go ahead and try that on your own and enter it in your calculator. All right, so what you should have done is 7 squared, which is 49, then multiply by pi, multiply by 18, and we end up getting 2,770.88. And again, that 4 tells us to leave our volume and our 8s as 8s, and we do not have to round up. All right, our next one here, we have a rectangular prism. Rectangular prisms are pretty easy because it's just multiply each side by each side. Do not focus on which one's length, width, or height, because when we are multiplying in the order of operations, we just multiply straight across. Order does not matter. So I'm going to take 13, multiply by 5, and multiply by 21. I'm going to give you a chance and opportunity to do that in yourself, because I think this is one that you could definitely do on your own, because all you have to do is multiply the three numbers in any order. So you should have gotten an answer of 1,365, and in this case, centimeters cubed. Keep remembering that when we're talking about volume, we're talking about 3 dimensions. That's why we have to have the cubed value, not just squared or a value by itself. Okay, and our last one here is the triangular prism. It's a triangular prism because both the front and the back are triangles, meaning that the term triangular prism is the base of triangle. Remember that a triangle is half that of a rectangle. So when we are finding volume of a triangular prism, we are talking about big B. Again, remember that means area of the base. The area of our base in this case is a triangle, so we have to do half times little b times little h. So when we are talking about this, we are talking simply about this value here that I'm highlighting in orange. This is going to be our little b. And then this value over here, the 3 inches, is going to be our h of our area. So when we are doing this, again, order doesn't matter when we're multiplying. So half times 4 times 3 times 7. If you happen to write it as half times 3 times 4 times 7, it's going to give you the exact same answer. If you happen to do 7 times 3 times 4 times 1/2, you're going to get the same answer. Remember that half is dividing by 2. So you're welcome to multiply 4 times 3 times 7 and then divide by 2. Or you also could just do 0.5 times 4 times 3 times 7. So I'm going to do the 0.5 times 4 times 3 times 7. Notice I don't have to hit equal in between each of those operations. I just enter them all in my calculator, and then I press my equal sign, and in this case it came out as a whole number, so I don't even need to round, and I am working with inches, so it is cubed. And this would be my answer. Oops, sorry, I need to get it as a bigger highlighting tool. There we go. So now we have worked with the volume of a cylinder. Remember that we always work with the radius, not the diameter, so pay attention. Does it go all the way across or halfway? Halfway is our radius. Also, with the cylinder, we want to make sure that we square our radius first, then multiply by pi, then multiply by 15. Cylinder, side times side times side, or length times width times height. And our triangular prism, 1/2 times base times height times the height of the actual triangular prism. I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to complete the worksheet that is on Canvas underneath this video. Then the answer and work is also posted, so where I got the numbers from and how I put it in my calculator. If you still have questions, let me know before you take the quiz on Edge Elastic. I went ahead and made a quiz. It is four questions: cylinder, triangular prism, and a rectangular prism on there. And then there's one more, just practice one on there. And this is what I'm going to record as your actual score. And that is what will be used to know that you completed this lesson for the day. It shouldn't take you very long to do either the worksheet or the quiz. And yes, of course, you can use a calculator. I hope you all are having a good day. Remember, if you need to contact me, I'm going to write my email down here, LAURA_Ervin, ERVIN, at nobel.k12.in.us. And if we need to set up a video conference, we can do that. I heard that the Canvas conferences are not working right now, but the Zoom option is, so I can also record videos that way. I hope you have a good day. Take care.